In a comic book universe filled with billionaire vigilantes, alien gods, sorcerers, and meta-humans, standing out isn't easy. Readers are spoiled for choice when it comes to powerful and iconic characters. Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Iron Man, the list goes on. But buried beneath the surface of mainstream attention lies a character with both heart and sheer power, potential, Blue Beetle. And no, we're not talking about the original Ted Kord or Dan Garrett, though they have their charm. We're talking about Jaime Reyes, the third and most formidable Blue Beetle. At first glance, Jaime might not strike you as someone who could hang with the heavy hitters. He's a teenager from El Paso, Texas, just trying to juggle family, school, and a mysterious alien artifact that fused to his spine. But once you understand what he's actually capable of and the emotional and cultural depth that comes with his story, you start to see the bigger picture. Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle is not just underrated. It might just be one of the most overpowered and important characters in the DC universe. And it's time more people realized it. Let's begin with the basics. Jaime Reyes made his first appearance in Infinite Crisis number 3 in 2006. Created by Keith Giffen, John Rogers, and Coley Hamner, Jaime's origin took a drastically different direction compared to his predecessors. Dan Garrett and Ted Kord were both geniuses in their own right, but neither had direct superpowers. Their strength came from technology, intellect, and experience. Jaime, he got bonded to an alien weapon of mass destruction, the Scarab, a sentient piece of high-tech armor developed by the Reach, a race of ancient alien invaders. This Scarab, known as Kajida, essentially attaches itself to Jaime's spine, integrating with his nervous system and granting him access to a suit of armor capable of just about anything. But here's the twist. The Scarab was originally meant to take over hosts and aid in planetary invasion. It was supposed to overwrite Jaime's will, but it didn't. Something malfunctioned, giving Jaime control while still allowing access to its full capabilities. That setup alone makes Jaime fascinating. He's not your typical guy who stumbles into power's story. He's a kid with an alien parasite that could go rogue at any moment, and that tension between control and chaos is a core part of what makes him so compelling. We need to talk about the Scarab Armored. It's easy to say that Jaime has cool alien tech, but that doesn't do it justice. This isn't just some upgraded Iron Man suit. The Scarab responds to Jaime's thoughts in real time. It creates weapons based on his imagination. It allows him to fly, become invisible, breathe in space, and interface with almost any form of technology. Need a plasma cannon? The Scarab makes one. Need an energy sword strong enough to cut through Superman-level armor? Done. Need a barrier that can absorb a nuclear-level blast? It's got that too. But there's more. The Scarab has a built-in database of combat strategies. It scans enemies, identifies weaknesses, and adjusts its responses accordingly. That means Jaime can go up against a speedster, a brute, a magician, even someone like Green Lantern, and have a legitimate shot at victory, because the Scarab will analyze, adapt, and respond instantly. And remember, this is all happening while Jaime is still a teenager. His full potential hasn't even been unlocked. If he trained like Bruce Wayne, studied like Reed Richards, or had the cosmic awareness of a lantern, Jaime would be almost unstoppable. He's essentially a kid who with a nuclear-powered Swiss Army knife on his back. It's easy to get caught up in the flash and fireworks of superpowers, but let's slow down and talk about what really makes Jaime unique and why he resonates with a different kind of audience. Jaime Reyes is a character with heart. He's a Latino teenager raised in a tight-knit working-class family. His story isn't just about alien tech and epic battles. It's about family, identity, community, and responsibility. Unlike many heroes who operate in isolation, Jaime's family knows about his secret identity. His parents, his little sister Milagro, even his best friends, they all become part of his journey. This dynamic flips the tired, I must protect my identity from everyone I love, trope on his head. Instead, his family becomes his support system. They give him strength, perspective, and remind him of who he is when the Scarab tries to pull him towards something darker. This sense of grounded storytelling gives Blue Beetle stories emotional weight. Jaime isn't flying around the world like Superman or living in a cave full of gadgets like Batman. He's helping his community. He's attending school. He's dealing with the challenges of growing up while trying to keep an alien death machine in check. There's something beautifully real about that. Representation matters, period. And Jaime Reyes is one of the most important Latino superheroes in modern comics. In a world where comic books have historically centered on white, male, often upper-class characters, Jaime represents something different. He's a working-class Mexican-American teenager whose life and culture are a central part of his story, not just window dressing. From his bilingual dialogue to the way his family and neighborhood are portrayed, Blue Beetle comics often explore themes of immigration, identity, community, and family in ways that feel authentic. And that matters a lot. For Latino readers, Jaime provides representation they rarely see. For non-Latino readers, he offers a window into a culture that's vibrant, complex, and deeply human. Blue Beetle isn't just another guy in a suit. He's a voice for readers who've been underrepresented for decades, and that makes him essential. So with all that said, the question still remains, why is Blue Beetle still so underrated? Why doesn't he get the same spotlight as the big names? A few reasons come to mind. First, he's a relatively new character. Jaime was introduced in 2006, which in comic book terms is practically yesterday. Characters like Batman and Superman have had almost a century to build their mythologies, fan bases, and cultural relevance. Jaime hasn't even had 20 years. Second, his stories tend to skew toward the cosmic and weird, especially when you dive deep into the reach. The nature of the Scarab or interplanetary warfare. That makes it harder for some readers to connect, especially those who prefer grounded, street-level stories. And third, to be blunt, the industry hasn't always known how to market him. Despite a fantastic animated presence in shows like Young Justice and a recent live-action film, DC hasn't consistently pushed Blue Beetle the way they've done with other heroes. He's often relegated to team roles, backup features, or niche comics rather than headlining major crossovers or events. But here's the thing, every hero who's underrated today was once in Jaime's position. Wolverine wasn't always a superstar. Black Panther wasn't always a household name. Even Iron Man didn't really explode into the mainstream until the MCU gave him the spotlight. All it takes is the right writer, the right storyline, and the right moment. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, the 2023 Blue Beetle movie. While it didn't shatter box office records, it was an important step in introducing Jaime Reyes to a wider audience. Zolo Maridueña brought charm, depth, and relatability to the role, and the film nailed the core themes of family, identity, and responsibility. More importantly, it leaned into Jaime's heritage in an authentic, unapologetic way. If given a sequel, or better yet, a place in a larger cinematic universe, Blue Beetle could become the face of a new generation of heroes. With the right creative team, he could fill the niche of the relatable, grounded hero with immense potential. Think Spider-Man, but with alien armor and Latin flavor. The seeds have been planted. It's just a matter of giving them time to grow. Let's end with a fun thought experiment. How would Blue Beetle fare against the heavy hitters versus Batman? Tactically, Batman has the edge, but the Scarab is unpredictable, deadly, and able to adapt in real time. If Jaime lets the Scarab cut loose, Batman's in trouble. Versus Superman. In raw strength, Superman dominates. But the Scarab can create kryptonite-based weapons. That gives Jaime a shot, especially if Supes underestimates him. Versus Green Lantern. This might be the most interesting matchup. Both use willpower-driven tech, but the Scarab doesn't rely on emotion. It reacts instinctively. That could give Jaime the edge in a surprise battle. Bottom line, Jaime may not always win, but he can stand toe-to-toe with the best of them. And that says a lot. Blue Beetle is more than just a kid with an alien suit. He's a cultural icon in the making, a narrative powerhouse, and an overpowered wild card with unlimited potential. What makes him special isn't just his strength or tech, it's his heart, his heritage, and his humanity. In the sea of heroes, Jaime Reyes offers something truly different. He's the kind of character that reminds us why we fell in love with comics in the first place. So the next time someone brings up the most powerful or most underrated heroes in comics, don't forget to mention the kid from El Paso with a scarab on his back. Blue Beetle might just be the future, and the future's looking bright.